Damascus in Prophecy, a city facing judgment. The ancient city of Damascus, a place of vibrant history and culture, finds itself at the heart of biblical prophecy. The scriptures speak of both judgment and future hope for Damascus. What do these ancient words tell us about the unfolding events in Syria today? The Bible is clear that God is intimately involved in the affairs of nations. Damascus, mentioned over 100 times in Scripture, is a prime example. Prophecies about this city offer a glimpse into God's plans and a warning to the world. Understanding these prophecies can be a guide for us today. They remind us to seek God's will and to pray for peace and restoration, not just in Syria, but throughout the world. Let us explore these prophetic warnings and their relevance to the current situation in Syria and the Middle East. Isaiah's warning: the fall of a fortress city. The prophet Isaiah, writing in the 8th century BC, delivered a stark warning about the fate of Damascus, a city that was once a beacon of civilization and culture in the ancient world. His words were not just a simple prediction, but a profound declaration that echoed through the ages. Behold, Damascus will cease from being a city. It shall be a ruinous heap. Isaiah 17:1. This prophecy, found in the book of Isaiah, chapter 17, verse 1, has intrigued scholars and theologians for centuries. It speaks of a time when Damascus, one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world, would face utter desolation. This prophecy speaks of a complete and utter destruction, a far cry from the bustling metropolis Damascus once was. The city, known for its rich history and cultural heritage, has been a center of trade, art, and learning for millennia. Its streets have witnessed the rise and fall of empires, the ebb and flow of civilizations. While Damascus has faced conquests and calamities throughout its long history, it has never experienced the total devastation described by Isaiah. From the Assyrian conquest to the Roman era, from the Islamic Golden Age to the Ottoman rule, Damascus has always managed to rise from the ashes, preserving its essence and spirit. However, the ongoing civil war in Syria, now in its second decade, has brought unprecedented destruction to the country, including significant damage to Damascus. The relentless conflict has turned parts of the city into war zones, with buildings reduced to rubble and streets scarred by violence. The conflict has claimed hundreds of thousands of lives, displaced millions, and left ancient cities in ruins. The human cost is staggering, with countless families torn apart and communities shattered. The once vibrant neighborhoods of Damascus now echo with the silence of abandonment and loss. Could this be the beginning of the fulfillment of Isaiah's prophecy? The scenes of devastation and despair seem to mirror the ancient words of the prophet. Yet the resilience of the people of Damascus, their hope and determination, stand as a testament to the enduring spirit of the city. The current state of Damascus, though not yet completely destroyed, reflects a level of devastation not seen before in its long history. The city's future remains uncertain, but its past is a powerful reminder of its ability to endure and rebuild. As we look to the future, we must remember the lessons of history and the words of Isaiah, contemplating the fragile nature of civilization and the enduring strength of the human spirit. Jeremiah's lament: anguish and fire engulf Damascus. The ancient city of Damascus, one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world, has seen countless epochs of history. From its early days as a bustling trade center to its role as a cultural and religious hub, Damascus has always been a city of significance. But today, it stands as a symbol of suffering and devastation. The prophet Jeremiah also spoke of Damascus, describing a city gripped by fear and engulfed in flames. His words, though ancient, seem eerily prophetic when we look at the current state of the city. The once vibrant streets are now scenes of chaos and destruction, with buildings reduced to rubble, and the night sky lit up by the glow of fires. Damascus is waxed feeble, and turneth herself to flee, and fear hath seized on her. Anguish and sorrows have taken her, like a woman in travail. Jeremiah 49:24. These words capture the essence of the fear and panic that has gripped the city's residents. People are seen fleeing their homes, their faces etched with distress and uncertainty, as they seek safety from the relentless violence. Jeremiah's words paint a vivid picture of a city in distress, overwhelmed by anguish and fear. The ruins of once majestic buildings stand as silent witnesses to the destruction that has befallen Damascus. The city's rich history and cultural heritage are now overshadowed by the grim reality of war. The imagery of fire and a woman in labor evokes the intense pain and chaos that would grip Damascus. The flames consuming buildings symbolize the destruction of the city's physical and cultural fabric, while the metaphor of a woman in labor highlights the excruciating pain and suffering endured by its people. The ongoing war in Syria resonates with Jeremiah's prophecy. The conflict has left a trail of devastation across the country, with cities like Damascus bearing the brunt of the violence. The aerial footage of bombed cities and soldiers in conflict zones serves as a stark reminder of the relentless nature of this war. The nation has been torn apart by internal strife, with various factions vying for control. Rebel fighters and government forces clash in the streets, turning neighborhoods into battlegrounds. The struggle for power has left the country in a state of perpetual conflict, with no end in sight. Airstrikes and artillery bombardments have become commonplace, turning once vibrant cities into landscapes of rubble and despair. The constant threat of violence has forced many to flee their homes, seeking refuge in safer areas or even in other countries. The destruction is not just physical but also emotional, as families are torn apart and communities are shattered. The suffering of the Syrian people is a stark reminder of the human cost of war and conflict. Refugee camps are filled with those who have lost everything, their lives uprooted by the violence. Wounded civilians bear the scars of the conflict, both visible and invisible, as they struggle to rebuild their lives amidst the chaos. The images we see coming out of Syria today, the displaced families, the wounded children, the shattered cities, are a chilling echo of Jeremiah's ancient lament. These scenes of despair and destruction serve as a powerful reminder of the enduring impact of war. As we witness the ongoing suffering, we are called to reflect on the lessons of history and the urgent need for peace and reconciliation. Section 4. Ezekiel's vision: Syria in the eye of the storm. The prophet Ezekiel provides a broader geopolitical context for understanding the turmoil in Syria. His writings, found in the Old Testament, are often seen as a window into the future, offering insights that resonate with the current geopolitical landscape. Ezekiel's visions are not just religious texts but also serve as a lens through which we can examine the intricate web of alliances and conflicts that define modern-day Syria. His prophecies in chapters 38 and 39 describe a future conflict involving a coalition of nations, including Russia, Iran, and Turkey, all of whom have a significant presence in Syria today. These nations, according to Ezekiel, will form an alliance that will play a crucial role in the unfolding events in the region. The presence of these countries in Syria is not just a coincidence, but a fulfillment of ancient prophecies that have been written thousands of years ago. Ezekiel's prophecy suggests that Syria will be caught in the crosshairs of a major geopolitical struggle in the end times. This struggle is characterized by a series of conflicts and alliances that have the potential to reshape the entire Middle East. The strategic location of Syria makes it a focal point for these events, drawing in various powers with vested interests in the region. The current situation in Syria, with its complex web of alliances and rivalries, bears a striking resemblance to Ezekiel's vision. The devastation seen in Syrian cities, the plight of refugees, and the ongoing conflict are all elements that echo the ancient prophecies. The humanitarian crisis that has unfolded is a testament to the severe impact of these geopolitical struggles on the civilian population. Russia and Iran have been key allies of the Syrian government, providing military and financial support. Their involvement has been pivotal in sustaining the Assad regime, allowing it to withstand various rebel factions and external pressures. The military bases and presence of these nations in Syria underscore their commitment to maintaining influence in the region. Turkey, on the other hand, has backed various rebel groups fighting against the Assad regime. This support has added another layer of complexity to the conflict, as Turkey seeks to assert its own influence and counterbalance the presence of Russia and Iran. The involvement of Turkish troops and their support for rebel factions highlight the multifaceted nature of the Syrian conflict. The convergence of these regional and global powers in Syria creates a volatile mix with the potential for wider conflict. The international community watches closely as the situation evolves, aware that the stakes are high. The interplay of these forces in Syria is a microcosm of broader geopolitical dynamics, making it a critical area of focus for analysts and policymakers worldwide. The future of Syria remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: The prophecies of Ezekiel continue to find echoes in the modern world, reminding us of the enduring relevance of ancient wisdom in understanding contemporary issues. Section 5. The Olivet Discourse, Echoes of Syria's Suffering. In Matthew 24, Jesus' disciples asked him about the signs of his second coming and the end of the age. Jesus responded with a sobering discourse often referred to as the Olivet Discourse, in which he warned of wars, famines, earthquakes, and persecution. Jesus' words resonate deeply with the suffering we see in Syria today. The conflict has created a humanitarian crisis of staggering proportions. Millions of Syrians have been displaced from their homes, forced to flee to neighboring countries or seek refuge in overcrowded camps. The Syrian people have endured unimaginable hardship. The loss of loved ones, the destruction of their homes, the constant threat of violence. Their plight serves as a stark reminder of the human cost of war and the urgent need for peace and reconciliation.